now from the IBA at Winchester, engineering announcements for the radio and television trade.
Hello again. Welcome to the IBA's weekly announcements for the radio and television trade. Today, radio, and a look at the ILR transmitting stations serving the London area on the medium wave. In transmitter news, the latest extensions to Channel 4 coverage and details of 3 new relays, Skirmit, Mochtra and Llangubbi.
Just over a week ago, a fire broke out at the medium wave ILR transmitters serving London. It resulted in both LBC and Capital Radio being off the air for a few hours while the fire brigade dealt and while IBA engineers worked through the night to restore both services to normal power by the morning. As with all our radio transmitters, there's both a main and a standby. It was in the LBC reserve transmitter that the fire started. The intense heat welded cables together, eventually putting both LBC and Capital Radio off air. The VHF stereo service broadcast from Croydon wasn't affected. The medium wave transmitter at Saffron Green in Barnet is unusual for a local radio station, with 2 radio services broadcast from a very directional transmitting aerial.
For reception on VHF and UHF, most people use a type of aerial known as a Yagi. The essential principle is that a dipole, in conjunction with one or more reflectors and directors, gives both gain and directivity, with deep nulls to the rear. Similar principles can be applied to transmitting aerials on the medium wave. The dimensions are clearly much greater, with the length of a half-wave dipole perhaps around 500 feet. But just as a 4-element aerial gives a gain of around 6 dB on VHF, so can a 4-element end-fire array on the medium wave.
The transmitters feed power into each of the masts. The relative phases of the drive currents and the spacings between the masts combine to produce a radiation pattern which can be tailored very precisely. Here, the radiation pattern on 1152 kHz, that's LBC. With the station sited to the northwest of the coverage area, it's possible to produce sharp nulls in the directions of other stations on the same frequency, so as to avoid interference. In particular, Birmingham, Manchester, Tyneside and Glasgow.
The same applies on Capital's frequency, 1548 kHz. Here there are nulls in the directions of different stations, notably Liverpool, Edinburgh, Sheffield and Bristol. We're sometimes asked why Capital's radiated power on 1548 kHz, nearly 100 kilowatts, is some 4 times greater than LBC's radiated power on 1152 kHz. Does this mean that Capital's coverage area is greater? In fact, it doesn't. The explanation lies in the ground wave propagation characteristics of signals on the medium wave. The attenuation rises rapidly with frequency, and so to give the same coverage area, a much higher power is needed at the high frequency end of the band than at the low frequency end. We're happy to say the transmissions from both LBC and Capital are running at full power, although the original LBC reserve transmitter will have to be replaced because of the effects of the fire. In the meantime, a temporary reserve transmitter has been made available and the service continues as normal.
Television transmitter news next, starting with special announcements. In Devon, aerial maintenance continues at Stockland Hill. This means reduced power and occasional interruptions until about the middle of July. The same applies in the north to Pontock Pike and Caldbeck. Reduced power and occasional interruptions until the end of July. In Northern Ireland, the main station at Brocha Mountain is liable to reduced power for the next couple of days because of aerial maintenance. In South Wales, aerial maintenance starts today at Pontardawe. The relay is off the air until midday, and the same applies on Wednesday, Thursday and Friday.
And for the same reason, the relays at Merthyr Tydfil and Conway are off the air today until midday. In Northern Ireland, Ballycastle Forest is off the air on all channels this afternoon between 1:30 and 4 because of work by the Electricity Board. In Yorkshire, Addingham is off today between 9 and 4, And in the Borders, Pooley Bridge is due to be off between 9:30 and midday. In South Wales, Clydach is off this morning between 9:30 and 10:30. In Minehead, a short interruption to Woodcombe this afternoon at around 2 o'clock, lasting about 10 minutes. And in Bristol, the King's Western Hill Relay is off today between 9:30 and midday. This is for work in preparation for Channel 4, due here in August. In Scotland, Torresay will be off tomorrow between 9:30 and 4 because of work by the Electricity Board. This will also affect transmissions from 11 dependent relays.
Tomorrow in Derbyshire, Ambergate will be off between 1:45 and 2:15 because of work by the Electricity Board. And for the same reason, Belper will be off tomorrow afternoon between 3:30 and 4. And in Northern Ireland, Newry North will be off tomorrow between 9 and 4. On Thursday morning, the relays at Festiniog and Darlis will be off between 9:30 and 10:30 for an electrical inspection. Also on Thursday, Bettysecoid and Dolwith Ellen will be off until midday because of aerial maintenance. And the same applies to Aberdare, off on Thursday morning until 10:30. This will also affect transmissions from Cummannon and Fern Hill. And on Friday, Llanvoist and Crewcorney will be off between 9:30 and 10:30 because of an electrical inspection.
From time to time, we invite dealers and aerial installers to visit us at Crawley Court. We explain how the broadcasters go about planning the television networks, and there's a look at some of the development work in our research labs. If you're in the trade and can spare a day to come to Winchester, the next visit is on Wednesday the 17th of July. Telephone Diana Cousins on Winchester, STD code 0962 822403. Our address at the end of this broadcast.
New relays next, starting near High Wycombe, where Skirmet is now on the air. This relay covers about 500 people in Skirmet, Turville, Fingest and Hambledon. Thames Television and London Weekend are on Channel 41, with Channel 4 on 47. The aerial group is B, vertically polarised. That's Skirmet, now on the air.
Also now on, in North Wales, near Colwyn Bay, the relay at Mochtra. The station serves about 700 people in an area just north of Mochtra. HTV Wales and TV-AM are on Channel 23, with S4C on Channel 29. The aerial group is A and the polarisation vertical. Mochtra is now on the air.
In Wales, near Lampeter, the relay for Llangubbi is hoped to be ready in a week or two. This will extend coverage to about 275 people in Llangubbi itself and in the immediate vicinity. Viewers in the service area receiving weak signals from Blaenpuy are recommended to change over to the new relay. The channel for HTV Wales and TV 25, with S4C on 32. Group A areas will be needed vertically polarised. Llangubbi is due on the air in a week or two.
2 more relays in Wales have been delayed because of problems with the incoming signal feeds. Machanapa in Mid Glamorgan and Trevechan near Merthyr Tydfil. There's still no definite news on when the difficulties may be resolved, but we'll give you more details when we can.
Channel 4 next, and conversion work at existing stations. Now on the air a little earlier than expected, Primrose Hill in Huddersfield. Channel 4 is on Channel 67 and the population coverage is 6,500. Due later this week, Ramsbottom in Greater Manchester. The channel is 68 and this relay covers a population of about 3,500. Also due this week, Faversham in Kent. The channel number is 32 with a population coverage of 3,000.
Well, that's all for this week. If you have any technical queries or reception problems, do contact us. Our address, Engineering Information Service, Independent Broadcasting Authority, Crawley Court, Winchester, Hants, SO21 2QA. The telephone number is Winchester, that's STD code 0962 822444. We'll be on the air again next Tuesday at 9:15 and 12:15. Hope you can join us. From Mari Nicholson and John Lovell, goodbye from Crawley Court.